The South African Social Security Agency has come under fire after confirming that over 210,000 old age grant recipients have had their payments suspended, and it's part of a nationwide eligibility review. Now, while the agency says the move was meant to root out fraud and to ensure compliance, the decision has left many elderly citizens confused, distressed, and without a safety net. Andile and Tshona joins us right now to clarify what led to this mass suspension, what effects to the beneficiaries they can expect. But I also want to know, in the lead up to this good decision, there must be an eligibility review. How much conversation, how much communication was happening with the holders of the SASSA cards? Thank you very much for joining us, Andile. Welcome to Power Lunch.
Good afternoon to you and good afternoon to your listeners.
So let's start with clarity. What triggered all of this? What triggered a need for an eligibility review?
Well, firstly, I need to clarify that the 210,000 number is not just old age grants. It's all types of grants that we are currently reviewing. And also that there has been no suspension as yet. The suspension only kicks in when the beneficiaries are not complying with the request to come to our offices. But coming back to your question, what has triggered it? We are trying to strengthen our systems and ensure that all the beneficiaries that are receiving the grants, they are the right ones. Because what we have discovered is that actually working with the credit bureaus that we actually consulted was that some of our beneficiaries actually are working. So the question is, if you are working, do you deserve to receive a grant? And that review process is going to determine whether you still deserve it or not.
Okay, that's fine, but let's go back to the veracity of the story then. Are you saying the Sowetan Live has got it wrong altogether, with photos of pensioners at the SASSA office in Ennerdale seeking assistance after they didn't get their payments, saying thousands of grant beneficiaries, like the 60-year-old man said her profile was blocked and now has to undergo review? Are you saying none of that has happened? Everybody has received their grants as you continue to then look for fraud in the grant system?
Look, what happened is that from May, June, July, what we have been doing, we're not suspending the grant. What we do, your grant gets delayed up until you come to review. It's not a suspension. Your grant gets delayed. Then once you come to our offices, with all the required documents, then the money gets released only if we are satisfied with the information that you are giving us. What we need to emphasize is that, working with credit bureaus as well as the banks, beneficiaries, they have a responsibility to disclose all the information, including incomes, as well as the bank accounts where they are banking, where they are receiving certain monies. So what we have discovered is that people actually have more than one account, and then other accounts were not disclosed to SASSA. That is why we are where we are currently.
So you're telling me somebody at the end of this last month went to the SASSA place where they get their SASSA money, and they were told that until they can produce XYZ documents, they cannot get their SASSA grant?
We first communicate with our beneficiaries and say that you are supposed to be paid in July. In July, we are going to delay your payment up until, and then for us to release your money, you must be able to produce 1, 2, and 3. That's the first part.
So that's about a month or 30 days before they're meant to get their next grant.
That is precisely what we are doing. We send SMSs. Unfortunately, some of our beneficiaries, when they change their numbers or when they change their addresses, they don't come back to SASSA and inform SASSA that the number that I gave you initially is no longer working.
Right.
So when we send out bulk SMSs to our beneficiaries, some of them may not receive them because they would have changed their numbers.
Right.
So they would know about the delay in payment only on the day of the grant payment.
So you're saying that the communication happened satisfactorily to SASSA's communication department. It just so happens that many may not have the same telephone number. Many are so old that they may not have a phone number in the first place, but they only found out about that. So that lays to rest that many, or explains rather, that many recipients had no warning, Andile.
That is what we are saying.
Okay.
Before your grant is delayed, we first communicate with you, and we send out bulk SMSs to our beneficiaries.
Understood.
Yes.
So what exactly are you looking for with this review? What are you checking for?
We are checking if our beneficiaries actually do have sources of income. So when you come to us, you must come with your ID, and then you must come with your bank statement, and then you must disclose if you have any other bank that you may have not given us. And then if you are not working, if you were retrenched, and then there must be an affidavit that you will produce that will show that you are not working. Because what we are picking up is that some of our beneficiaries, because what we did, we took about 2 million of our beneficiaries. We gave them to credit bureaus, and then out of the 2 million, the results were that the 210,000, actually some of them, they have sources of income. That is what we are currently doing.
All right. If you can hang on the line, there's some people who would like to engage with you, and I have one or two more questions. I think this is incredibly important. SASSA Communications Senior Manager Andile Tshona on the line with us as SASSA responds over 200,000 elderly grants suspended in eligibility crackdown, which isn't the headline in full. It's about a suspension, making sure that once people arrive at SASSA, they know what documentation to bring. Mass SMSs were sent as well so that their grants can be released. It's just after 12:30.
This is Power Lunch
with Pabi Moloi
on Power 98.7.
As we carry on our conversation with SASSA Communications Senior Manager Andile Tshona is on the line with us. So far he has clarified that the number that many of the news outlets are stating is not a full suspension as yet. It's just a matter of bringing the right documentation, and for the information can be revealed. My answer to that was there's so many people who don't have the same cell phone numbers, a cell phone number at all. So it's quite challenging to communicate that, as I'm sure, Andile, you'll agree with me. But we've moved from that point. Let's see what some of our callers would like to add to this. Qinile, hi.
Hi, Pabi.
I'm great. How are you?
Great. This is my dad on the line, and I'm so glad. Because the only effect discussed radio now, I literally personally affects me. So yesterday, my dad, one of the people whose pension was suspended, okay, got my parents' pension as Babamna 73.
Okay.
He's also an ESCOM pensioner, was a general worker just at ESCOM, okay? And he's on last phone and tell you pension is blocked. So they said he must bring all his bank statements, whatever, that documentation, right?
Masafika lapo.
He didn't receive it on the line. He didn't receive an SMS. So he only knew me I told him. And then documents. So first of all, he's 73. It was just a general worker at ESCOM, uneducated. They know what land they have. So I'm going to SMS, my phone. So he went yesterday, Bergville, KZN, my farm. So we are for about 3 because I want him to go to SARS. My mom got sick, so we needed to help him claim if possible. I think mefika lapha ngimfonela ngabo 3 ngithi hey how far uthi kimi hey ngithosa ku queue yazi ngicingela baze basize labantu. That's 3 o'clock and kugcwele ngempela bathatha nga30 kufika vele umuntu aphume athi ke asebenza SASSA eBergville athi ke ngesisakhona ukunisiza sebusuku ngoba sivala ngo-4 ngithi mnike ifoni fast ungamtsheli ngikhulume nalo mama loyo ngimtshele ngithi abona ma ngicela ukubuza obaba uthi angeke asangena lapho ufike kudala kabi lo muntu ufike lapho ngabo-12 uthi yebo but-ke siyashoda ngithi yazi into engizoyenza kwenzelani ngizofonela umphathi wenu ngimtshele ngithi ngicela aniqashele because labazali abalapha abaholanga kodwa ekufika ekhaya uye edrobheni u-49 rand okay ukuya u-49 rand 100 rand ngithi lo muntu loyo akaholanga and then nabanye abagcwele lapho kumele bajika ngithi ngisiza abantu abahluphekayo kumele babuye futhi kusasa ngibuye futhi ubaba wami uthi kunomuntu oyedwa naye uyavuma ukuthi hhayi ukuthi ngisebenza sodwa it's just that ngabe baqasha abantu sisi khona kuzocala ngathi ngizokucalela kubaphathi bakho angithi inkinga azikho kuwo my dad is on the line he can confess mangiqeda ukusho njalo bayambiza bathatha ipasi lakhe so imagine abantwana abanganazo ingane efana nami ezizohamba ziyolwa mefika lapho because ngizoya ngiyolwa and then bazosiza ubaba bajikile so izolo mesibambize khoneni bayamsiza nangu hello baba ufuna ukusho ukuthi kwenzakaleni izolo esari ubingelele nangumphathi wasesari wasesasa
Okay.
Who's saying okay? Andile.
Yes. Sawubona baba.
ubaba
Oh, Baba saying okay. Sanbonani, Baba. All right.
Yebo, sabona ndosi yami. Izolo besile sithi sofuna imali ngoba beyivaliwe. So ke ngifike ngopassport. Ngihlale kwaze koshaya amanzi sekushaya 4. Bathi-ke abasasilizi ngoba kusebenza umuntu yedwa ngokomthetho babili manje oyedwa uyagula. Manje abakwazi-ke ukuthi basize soze kuye ngakusasa. So-ke abantu bebebaningi ngendlela ongakazi uyibone. Abantu bajika-ke manje abantu-ke before kushaya u-4 ngoba abantu bahlala emakhaya. Inkinga yakhona ukuthi umuntu yaphela kufana nasemadolobheni. Kusemakhaya kufanele ukuthi bebuyele emuva bathole ama-tax manje ama-tax futhi ayaphela-ke la. Isuka la ngo-5 ayaphela.
Okay.
Abantu bahamba
basizeni wena bakusize emva kokuthi ngenzeni ufuna ukuthi bamkhiphela inini ngoba semthethile.
Okay. Lindile, thank you, Baba. Thank you very much. Andile, you've heard a gut-wrenching story. Lindile is very frustrated on behalf of her dad, and you can hear just from his voice how old he is to be able to, spend 100 Rand for transport to not get his SASSA grant? What do you say to that?
Look, yeah, that is really a heartbreaking story, and we can only, for now apologize what some of our beneficiaries, have to go through. And also, maybe just to emphasize that, in some of our offices, we do have those cases. I mean, it's something that SASSA is also working on, to really improve the capacity of our offices to ensure that when people go to the offices, they get assisted on the same day. And also, what also SASSA is trying to do is also try to ensure that some of the applications or of the reviews, can be able to be done online. And
Online?
So that people don't have to go to the offices. I want to really emphasize this point that the online reviews and applications, we are working on them because when we do reviews, we also have to do the biometric verification that are linking up with Home Affairs to ensure that this person that we are reviewing is actually the right person to receive this grant. It's not just also about eligibility. It's also about the issues of identity theft. That we would know. I'm sure you know that there are stories that you could be sitting there and then there's someone who's receiving a grant using your ID.
I understand that, but he'd signed up for the grant, as far as I understand. He'd been receiving, that was his grant day. So I don't know why you'd need to do so much probing into somebody who has been receiving their grant.
it is important that probing is done because our systems are not perfect. Our systems are not perfect, and the reason I'm saying this is because there are instances where you find that there is someone who is deceased. Someone has passed away, but the grant is still going out.
All right, that I understand.
And these systems really are to look outside as well as internally, because also internally we also want to look into our own staff members who also are up to no good.
But why must your staff members who are up to no good leave Ubaba starving for those 3 months? If you're saying that they must bring back their staff, first of all, why is there such a shortage of staff? Why? Especially on the SASSA grant day. So you know that there are going to be people there in long queues. Why the short staffing? Secondly, how do you expect people to survive through the month?
Look, in as much as the grant reviews are a painful exercise, we acknowledge that if you're expecting your grant and then on the day it doesn't come, it's very painful. And also that the grant reviews also, they have to be done. They have to be done so that, because if we don't do grant reviews, that is where you have cases of having grant beneficiaries who are not deserving to be receiving
But
grants.
I feel like there's so many other days of the month that you can go through this grant review, particularly when you, out of your own mouth, have said some of the people within your organization are up to no good. So I really wonder why it has to be on a day where you have to then tell elder people to wait, that they've been there for 14 hours. I don't understand that. That part I don't understand. I've got callers galore and we need to finish this conversation. Cindy, hi.
Hi, Pabi. How are you?
I'm all right, my darling. Welcome. You're on the air.
Yeah, hi to Mr. Andile as well. Thank you so much for the talk, please. I think it came at the right time. We did the application. I was supporting my brother doing an application for disability.
Yes.
And it was approved in May.
Okay.
So I wanted to ask Mr. Andile if disability ones are they affected as well in this reviewing? And it's a new application. He has not received anything. They did not give us a specific date on when he's getting it, but I remember something about July. But July pay, I think, has passed. He did not get anything.
You applied in May, Mama?
We applied in May.
Okay,
and
then
I get something in July. It's a waiting period. I think.
Oh, okay.
So I just want to say, Andile, how long is the waiting period? Because when you go there, they don't give you a specific date, which on this specific date you will get. They just said July. So we don't know whether we're supposed to wait for August or July is part of the waiting period, or is the reviewing affecting the disability?
I understand. Initially, thank you, Sis Cindy. I understand. Dr. Andile, you had said that it's not just the elderly grant. So I am assuming that it would also cover all of the different other grants, like Sis Cindy's grant. Yes or no?
Yes, it would cover all other grants. But I think in her case, I think the review process won't affect because the grant has not necessarily been approved as yet.
So how long is the waiting process for approval?
It depends from case to case, depending on the medical assessment that would have been undertaken.
I wish we still had Cindy here. Did she undertake a medical assessment? So that has to be done.
Disability grant, you have to undertake a medical assessment, to check the state of your disability and also to check whether it's a permanent disability or it's a temporary disability grant. So it depends.
Okay, so it may be if she applied in May, it may be at the end of this month, it may be August.
It may be August, yes.
And how does she know? With the number that she dialed up with or connected with?
So I think in her case, I may have to take her case personally and then maybe get her ID number and then we check with our grant officials.
That's a much better solution for us. So you've got that, Alex. We'll get Cindy's number and Cindy's brother's ID so that we can get some information. And Andile will make sure we hold you to that. Mapefo, hi, you're on the air.
Hi, Pabi. How are you?
All right, thank you.
I'm all right, thanks. I just want to find out on behalf of someone else. The husband is getting 4.3, and now he's applied for, he's getting a grant, the 2.3, and then now the wife was retrenched. She's getting 5.3, and she's now applying for SASSA. Does she qualify to get the SASSA? Because sometimes when I read on the papers, I get different amounts for couples who are married, how much they should get. So can he just say if the person does qualify and how much is it jointly, the husband and the wife should be getting to qualify both for SASSA?
All right, very interesting. Andile, go ahead.
So the threshold for a married people on, is it older person's grant, right?
Yes, older person.
Is the annual income should be 215,000
for both.
For both, yes, combined.
So it means their wife does qualify to get a grant also.
So as I'm saying, the combined income for in this case, should be 215,000. Then, if it's less than that, they should qualify.
All right. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. I hope that does answer your question.
Okay.
Andile, we have so many people who would like to speak to you, who'd like to ask about what happened, particularly this suspension that's happened, but we've run out of time. So I want you to give a message to people like Ubaba who are talking about waiting for hours and hours to find out only that their grant has been suspended. I want to ask what your message is to Cindy's brother who's been waiting and doesn't know if it's going to be an infinite wait or when the wait is going to end for him to finally be able to receive his grant. What do you say to the regular South Africans who rely on SASSA?
So what we can say, for all the beneficiaries who have been standing in queues waiting to be reviewed, and the ones that may have not been able to be assisted, we really would like to apologize. It's not intended to disadvantage them or to cause them some harm. It's just the reviews, they are important factor in the Social Assistance Act, where as SASSA we want to pay the right grant to the right person. And as SASSA, we want to really enhance our capacity in our local offices so that everyone can be assisted when they come to our offices.
And I just don't understand why it can't be done throughout the month. Why does it have to be done, or is it not complete? Maybe this is an accounting issue before people need to get their grants.
Grant reviews, they happen on an ongoing basis. It's not a once-off thing. Every day, you see, when you go to a SASSA office, you will find that there are people who are coming for reviews. And then there will be also queues for many other things, where people are coming for other applications. So as I'm saying that this thing, it happens on an ongoing basis, and it has to be done. And we apologize for any inconvenience that we may have caused.
Andile Tshona, SASSA Communications Senior Manager, we're going to get back to you about the issue Cindy, Cindy's brother, to find out when he is going to be applicable for his SASSA grant, and I'm sure there'll be lots of questions then as well. Thanks for your time.